Meet Jordyn Dumont. She follows a strict routine.
I pray every morning.
Amen.
I have somebody from the house that calls me every day.
Oh, hi, Katie. Where are you?
It's a commitment to her new life in Montreal.
Go outside?
And it's helped her stay on track for the last 5 months. 5 months of being sober.
Boston, come here. I see you looking at me.
She's come a long way since August 12th,
Come on, honey.
when her life took a turn as she lay in a hospital bed.
When the doctor got her in there, asked what she was taking, she told them, asked how she was doing it, and she said injection, and I rolled her arm over and saw the track marks.
Jordyn had run out of money and was deep in withdrawal. Her mother learned what had been going on behind closed doors.
I had to leave the room at that point.
It was a shock. Jordyn had grown up a happy kid in her hometown of Shapley, Maine.
People that used to drive their snowmobiles to my high school.
Those happy memories have been replaced with a life that she wants to leave behind.
Just being in this area, it's just very uncomfortable, you know, going through the memories and stuff that the stuff that I did around this area.
As a kid, she loved playing sports.
That was probably 7 or 8 years old. She played soccer.
She became a star athlete, which earned her a scholarship to St. Joseph's College in Standish. Things were looking up until all those years of sports caught up to her.
I was a field hockey player in college, and something happened to my knee.
After knee surgery, Jordyn was prescribed opiates. What came next is something that happens all too often.
I always told myself, you know, I'll stick to drinking, I won't do drugs, and I will never ever touch a needle. And all that went away when drugs got in my system.
Over the course of 5 years, Jordyn went from using pills to heroin and then to fentanyl. Getting high began to take over her life. The star athlete dropped out of school. Desperate for money to keep up her habit, she found herself working at a strip club in Florida. But she couldn't keep up and eventually moved home to Maine, hiding her addiction from her family. Until that day in the hospital in August, deep in fentanyl withdrawal, Jordyn realized things had to change.
And seeing my mom there beside my bedside while I'm convulsing, you know, and her crying is the time where I had to be like, okay, this is damaging not only my life but the people around me. And if I don't take care of it, it's gonna get worse and I'm gonna die.
I finally had to sit back and say, oh my God, what are we dealing with?
For Donna, it was time to take action.
I think it was the adrenaline that I was like, you know, fight or flight mode in my aspect of being a mom. You know, I'm not thinking about her being a druggie, I'm just thinking about her getting through what she's getting through and living.
Jordyn returned home and continued to withdraw, but her mother sat for a week, glued to her computer, trying to find anyone who could help her daughter. She started searching in Maine.
None of them had a bed open for women. The ones that did, it was a 4 to 6 month wait.
So she looked out of state.
There were 2 places that called me back, but I mean, it was $30,000 for a 28-day program.
Time was ticking as Jordyn lay writhing in pain on her mother's couch.
It's the hardest thing I've ever gone through in my life, is seeing a child almost die. I can't even thank them enough for saving her life. It's the hardest thing I've ever gone through in my life, is seeing a child almost die.
The Dumonts had hit rock bottom. After she left the hospital for fentanyl withdrawal, Jordyn went to Milestone in Portland and underwent a 3-day Suboxone detox. But her mother wanted her off drugs entirely and in a long-term inpatient rehab.
There was no place in Maine for her.
Jordyn lay on her mother's couch, still in the pain of withdrawal, as Donna frantically called places in Maine, Arizona, and California. Jordyn didn't qualify for certain programs because of her health insurance. Donna says most places didn't call her back, and those that did had either a 4 to 6 month wait list or a price tag of over $30,000 for just 28 days. She was losing hope until she got one phone call.
Friday, I took a loan out of the bank, got a passport for my mother. We drove her down and we got her in on Saturday morning.
Enter Andy's house, a small, private, non-clinical residential treatment center in Montreal. It's run by director Mike Weston. It's how he pays it forward in his own recovery.
29 years old, I had 3 kids, a small business, a failing marriage, and just scratching my head wondering, what I was going to do. I had an alcohol problem and used drugs.
So how exactly does the program at Andy's house work? First rule, no drugs. That means no Suboxone and no methadone.
It's one of the things that prevent people from actually getting clean is, just the thought about, withdrawal and the pain. But after 3 days, it's gone.
Second, every resident is given a personalized recovery plan using a variety of proven approaches. That includes a 12-step program, art therapy, behavioral therapy, and physical fitness. But what the director of Andy's house says makes them stand out is that they go great lengths to make sure their residents feel like a part of a family.
A lot of people say it. I've heard our competitors say it, like, Mike, how do you do it? I keep hearing about Andy's, like, it's like a family, it's like community, hats off to you guys, and that's like a real testament to what we're doing right here, I think.
That's because the house was built on family. It's named after Andy.
He's my brother, yeah. So I lost him 19 years ago.
How?
Well, it's okay. He was a great guy, loving, outgoing, selfless. I was 6 months sober, and he killed himself. So, thank God I was sober.
The family environment isn't the only thing that makes Andy's house stand out. 90 days of living in the house, 2 years of outpatient treatment, and you get to come back for the rest of your life. At Andy's house, the total cost, only $19,500 American dollars. Jordyn's family had seen price tags as high as $50,000 for just 28 days of treatment. So how is it possible for Andy's house to charge less and offer more?
This is not something that, we're going to get rich doing. That's not what we're here for. We're here to continue the service.
That price tag and the Andy's house family is what made it possible for Jordyn to get sober.
My two main counselors, I think of them as, a father and a mother figure. Like, they saved my life.
It isn't just about the family in the house, but the families outside of the house as well.
When I go to visit with her, we do counseling with her counselor, with us as a family, not just her.
Recovery is a daily battle for Jordyn.
I have to remind myself how far that I've come, and I have to think about, where I came from with the drugs, and I have to think about where it brought me. And would it be really worth it to do that right now?
Jordyn knows she's lucky to be surrounded by support, but hopes that care will become more affordable for those who may not have the same resources.
We're not living in, high-end places here, so, I would hope that, the government or whoever is in charge of that stuff would help people get the help they need, because, people are dropping like flies.